This sport has helped me so much in my life. I think my jaw is broken, by the way, so yeah. Let's go! It's definitely broke.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
At the pinnacle of heavyweight boxing, a particular quiet emerges that's unlike any other. This isn't merely the absence of sound, it's the crushing, breathless hush that arrives after impact so devastating it paralyzes an entire arena. For 5 rounds, spectators witnessed a content creator attempting to outmaneuver a giant. But in the 6th, the giant struck back. When Anthony Joshua's right connected, it transcended a simple blow. It became a life-changing wake-up call. As the officials' count resonated throughout the venue, the swagger that constructed a brand dissolved into a serious medical situation.
My mom warned me not to fight Anthony Joshua. I should have listened to my mom. My dad pushed me to this. Now I'm alone in the hospital. Got to eat liquid now. Anthony Joshua be ready for a rhythm.
The sight of Jake Paul collapsed on the mat has become boxing folklore. Yet the events that transpired afterward have left the entire sport stunned. As fans celebrated Joshua's triumph, a separate narrative developed in Paul's corner. There were no consolation speeches about moral wins or valiant efforts. Instead, cornermen monitored pulse rates with trembling fingers while medical staff appeared genuinely alarmed. The shift from entertainment spectacle to emergency scenario occurred instantaneously. Joshua remained centered in the ring, a stark testament that boxing remains entertainment for some, but warfare for competitors.
Congratulations on your win tonight in Miami. How are you feeling right now?
Calm, chilled, good to get the win, but there's a lot I could have done better. So, yeah, mixed emotion.
Like what?
Could have done a lot better, cut the ring off, maybe done what I done in the 6th, in the 3rd, in the 2nd, even in the 1st. But a win's a win, and that's why we're here talking now.
You talked about having the weight of the boxing world on your shoulders and like the purists, right?
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that type of pressure when the media is so fickle? 1 minute they love you, 1 minute they hate you. Do you feel that even though you won tonight, they're still not going to be pleased?
So with the media, how I operate the media is you got negative and you got positive. So I do honestly focus on the positive. I don't really focus on the negative. And secondly, I just understand that while I'm in the hot seat, so let's say there's a seat, and right now I've elevated to that hot seat, I gotta take all the shit that comes with being in that hot seat, and then once I move on from that hot seat, no one's gonna care about me anyway. So I just gotta
That's not true.
It's true, it's how it goes. It's how it goes. So I know how it works. I understand the cycle. I'm currently in that motion. I'm dealing with some shit at the minute, but it won't last forever. Have some tough skin, and then in a couple of years, I'll be sitting back watching someone else deal with that shit.
Thank you,
Come on,
guys.
Chan, have some tough skin, you'll be alright.
Thank you.
Okay,
Well, thank you so much
good
for your
to
time.
see you, Michelle.
Great to see you too.
Inside the dressing area, the atmosphere transformed from disbelief to authentic terror. Speculation began spreading almost instantly. Whispers of permanent damage, complete mandible destruction, and urgent medical evacuation. Joshua, typically gracious in victory, spoke candidly during his post-fight evaluation. He acknowledged respecting all challengers while confessing his primal drive to conclude battles with maximum force. His victory wasn't simply tactical, it was devastation personified. That predatory nature transcended symbolism. It became tangible consequences requiring immediate hospitalization before media obligations could commence.
Yeah, we think he broke his jaw. He's fine. We met with Netflix afterwards. He took a shower. He drove himself to the hospital. A broken jaw is very common in sports, particularly in boxing or MMA. And I think the recovery time from the doctors and surgeons we've already talked to is 4 to 6 weeks.
The complete damage assessment emerged within hours, revealing disturbing medical evidence. A compound break, beyond superficial damage or minor splitting, represented total bone architecture collapse. Once the radiograph circulated online, social platforms erupted, witnessing the hardware and bone displacement confirmed harsh reality. Entertainment had vanished completely. This represented the price of attempting to leap from content creation to elite heavyweight competition. The swagger persisted, with Paul declaring intentions to compete within 10 days, yet medical facts revealed grimmer truths of extended, agonizing rehabilitation, potentially requiring months of surgical wire immobilization.
According to Jake Paul, he stated he had to do surgeries. He broke his jaw on 2 different locations on both sides. He lost many teeth that he has to replace, or he replaced already. And after that, Jake called out Canelo. But he need to focus on Gervonta for real, because Canelo gonna do him dirty. With that being said, Jake said, quote, "Just got out of surgery. Everything went smooth. Thanks for all the love. A lot of pain and stiffness. Gotta eat liquid for 7 days, even on Christmas." So, to the amazing team of Miami University Hospital, everyone was so gracious and caring. Double broken jaw. Give me Canelo in 10 days. Jaw broken, heart and balls intact. Time to rest, recover, and return to cruiserweight. Okay, now that's a smart thing to do, because he did fight a super heavyweight in AJ. But I don't think it's going to be any sweeter.
This leads to the term circulating privately, retirement. Media outlets amplify these discussions, justified by severity. When combatants experience such trauma, discourse inevitably questions future participation. While retirement speculation generates engagement, reality lies in Paul's mandatory extended absence. Recovery from facial destruction isn't immediate. One questions whether time has expired. He discussed disruption and determination, but even strongest resolve cannot overcome skeletal fractures.
Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron, is fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul, and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him, because number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up, and I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026, maybe against a Gervonta Davis, a Ryan Garcia.
Uncertainty prevails. Within Paul's organization, reactions remain predictably protective. Logan Paul assumed the elder sibling defender role, labeling Jacob resilient, while insisting his determination remains intact. However, boxing's harsh reality demonstrates that determination alone doesn't secure victories. Technique and physical resilience do. The influencer combat phenomenon, previously considered untouchable, encountered an obstacle beyond negotiation. Observers note this represented the predictable outcome of pairing promotional brilliance against experienced championship-level power. The question was never possibility, but timing.
Jake lost because of the size difference, not because of the skill difference. AJ was hanging on that neck, pushing him down. And when you have someone that heavy constantly doing that, it does suck the energy out of you. AJ talked about sucking out or taking out the man's soul. He didn't take out his soul. He did take out his energy, and that's when he was able to get the finish.
And just a quick follow-up. Obviously, we don't want to look too far into the future. I know you said Jake wants a break. He's going through some, he's coming off a tough fight. But, I mean, like, it seems written on the wall that that would be an obvious fight to, look forward to in the future. Could you see Jake versus Francis Ngannou?
The whole situation with Francis was very confusing to me. And he's done a couple of interviews, back and forth on terms of how he thought about our conversation. I think Francis is a revolutionary when it comes to fight sports. He stood up against the UFC, showed what kind of man he is. And This process was just, again, a little bit confusing for me, given who I know who he is as a human being.
Complicating the aftermath further was Tyson Fury's response. Rather than recognizing Joshua's commanding display, Fury seized the moment for provocation, ridiculing the achievement while boasting superior finishing capability.
I am him, the man. I ain't a YouTuber or a man half your size. 37-year-old at the end of his career, fighting a YouTuber, a Disney Channel guy, who Tommy B, and now he's talking about killing and all that to try and sell.
Joke.
Please, barking up the wrong tree, idiot. You're a classless loser coming off a 15 months knockout defeat to a local lad. Imagine if someone from Morecambe knocked me out. If I ever come across you, bum, I'm knocking you back out. You big bum, useless tosser.
This represents typical heavyweight political maneuvering, yet reveals peculiar irony. Paul's defeat paradoxically expedited prospects for a Joshua Fury confrontation. Even through failure, Paul remains the driving force behind significant developments, albeit while confined to medical observation.
Fury, listen, we'll see you in September.
Is it realistic, you think? I mean,
The injury industry proves profitable, where scandal drives revenue according to established principles. Beyond the medical crisis and legitimate concerns about Paul's permanent durability, rematch discussions began before cleanup concluded. Morbid fascination exists regarding individual responses to such dramatic career interruption. Will Jake emerge more grounded, or will grandiose thinking resurface once medication subsides? The industry demands redemption narratives, though physical limitations may intervene.
Jake Paul didn't get in there to win last night. He got in there to survive. And he didn't do a better job of surviving. He sold the fight brilliantly. That's what he is. He's a salesman. And he's a YouTuber, influencer, call him whatever you want. So from that perspective, he did his job, but he never got in there to win. He just got in there to get beat up. I'm glad Anthony Joshua done a number on him. This is why boxers are boxers, YouTubers, whatever they want to call themselves, influencers. You know, they should stay in their lane and fight people that they're supposed to fight on their level. This guy was never on Anthony Joshua's level, and Joshua did what he needed to do, did what he had to do for the sake of boxing, and blow this guy out and just knock him out.
What about the fact that Jake was able to land on him clean a couple of times? What did you make of that?
Oh, listen, you can't get into the water without getting hit. Fortunately for Joshua, that guy can't break an egg. So he was never in any danger. You know, he's always going to get hit back. I mean, you know, it was 6 rounds. Anthony Joshua was always going to take at least 1 or 2 shots over that 6-round period, but it was nothing to hurt him. It was nothing to bother him. And like I say, this is all about getting AJ's confidence back.
Okay.
If Jake Paul fights, if he fights KSI or KFC or whatever his name is, then those two are evenly matched, aren't they? They're evenly matched, and then they could fight, you know, and then because they're evenly matched, they're both YouTubers, aren't they? They should get that on. I'd probably stay up and watch that.
What occurred transcended simple defeat. It was validation of hierarchy. Anthony Joshua demonstrated that certain competitive levels cannot be circumvented through promotional spending or social media influence. He established that elite competition involves lasting physical consequences. Conversely, Jake Paul demonstrated willingness to challenge the best, possibly accepting costs that will affect him permanently. The issue isn't his ability to continue competing, but whether continuation is wise.
TV, what did I just watch? All right, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is over. Thank God it's over. What a joke of a fight. I was hoping that I could at least give Jake credibility and saying, you know what, he took this challenge. You know, even if it's for a lot of money, he still had the guts to walk to the ring and all this stuff. I was hoping, you know, you're gonna get knocked out anyway, dude. Like, I was hoping I could say, you know what, because he earned the respect of boxing fans by going out on his shield. Guy just ran for his life. I just watched Jake Paul run for his life for like 5-6 rounds. Literally just run for. He was doing football jukes. You guys watched that fight? Ring was big. I made a freaking point about that ring being big, and he used it to his advantage in terms of survival in every way he could. I mean, this guy literally never tried to win a second of the fight. He was trying to throw a home run punch every once in a while. But notice every time he got in the clinch, he just went down, like he just hugged Anthony Joshua, and then like would go down, and the referee would call it a slip and give him a break, and like he would just kill time that way. Then he was completely angling off. He was completely blading his shoulder off completely to the point where he's so bladed off that he can't even punch. He was just trying to make himself as small of a target as possible. And Anthony Joshua, people are gonna say, oh, why didn't Anthony Joshua catch up to him? Because Anthony Joshua never had fast feet to begin with, and Anthony Joshua honestly should have probably cut off the ring a little bit better. That's my one critique of Joshua. He probably could have cut off the ring a little bit better. Joshua's always never really had the best feet, but in terms of cutting off the ring, could have at least done that. But honestly, what do you want the guy to do? I mean, this guy ran for his life in a 22 by 22 foot ring. That ring was huge. That ring was huge. I can't believe what I just watched, guys. I'm seriously, like, dude, that's it. That's it. This was AJ's chance. Could have went out on his shield and his chance to say, yeah, get the respect of the boxing community. This was the one that could have got him the respect of the boxing community. This was the one. He came out with all this rap crap and doing the Hulkamania crap and all that other stuff and all that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, is he that calm, or is he literally just setting up his own demise? I mean, I don't know. AJ came out to the ring really serious, which would you expect? And then, I mean, he never fought. Jake never fought. Like, he never fought the whole fight.
While circumstances normalize, we observe the sport's contradictory nature. One side features a heavyweight champion challenging his primary competitor, his reputation elevated. The other shows a young man who attempted global conquest now confronting the sobering truth of nutritional limitations and serious self-reflection. Ambition drives achievement but can become imprisonment. Was the enormous compensation and worldwide recognition worth permanent facial alteration? Some label it courage. Others consider it cautionary. Regardless, the controversial figure faces challenges beyond verbal resolution. That concludes today's content. If you found value, please engage positively. Subscribe and activate notifications for future releases. Share your perspectives below. Stay connected for our next installment.